Welcome back. Welcome back to the Kovacs Report, or should I say, Ultimate Kovacs Report, because today is Ultimate Spider-Man Day, number 16, highlight of my month every single month. The best Spider-Man book out there. If you don't believe me, go and pick it up and read it. Now, I love this book, and I know some people don't. Well, some people, they wish there was more Spider-Man in it, and that is true. Everybody wishes to get more Spider-Man in their Spider-Man book, but he is quite absent in many issues. But I do like it. I like what he's doing with it, because he replaces it with a lot of backstory and a lot more interesting things about these characters. So, you know, you're kind of growing even closer to these characters that you've known for years, maybe, if you're a Spider-Man fan, and you're learning all the little twists of this Ultimate Universe. So it is a brilliant story, and I'm loving every second of it. Now, this should be called Ultimate Gwen Stacy, because that's precisely what this is all about. Jonathan Hickman has weaved a very interesting tale and created a bit of a new original story for none other than, as you can see there, Mysterio, or should I say Mysterios. Now, Marco Checchetto's art on this book is, as usual, 100% pure, absolute joy. It never lets you down. So even if it didn't have any bubbles and balloons and words on the page, you'd still enjoy it because it looks beautiful. So it is told across some flashbacks leading up to some big reveals. So we kind of kick off after what's been happening in the last few issues, which is basically Craven had kidnapped Harry and Peter, taken him to Mole Man's domain, and was hunting them. And the result of that basically was Harry Osborn was killed by Craven. So very, very interesting indeed. So she is visiting his gravestone, and she's thinking about the past, and she's going back to a time when she was a child, sitting with her father, and he's talking to her. And this, I think, really is to really connect you a bit more to Gwen Stacy, right? Because Gwen Stacy's typically been that sort of little, you know, fluffy, shrinking violet, gentle sort of side character. But in this, she isn't. He's really making Gwen a serious part of the Ultimate Universe here in a very different, unexpected way. So they talk about the loss of her mother, and he says, "Listen, you know, no one ever dies if you remember them, because you keep them in your heart." And then we sort of see Gwen dating Harry in the early days, which is really cool. But there's a little thing here at the ends with this conversation with her father, where he's sort of talking about, he says, "You might not understand who I was. People might say bad things about me. They might say nothing at all, because the mystery will hold. Just understand one thing. Everything I've done was for you." Right? And his eyes are sort of all green here. So that's really interesting. So it indicates that there's some backstory to Gwen Stacy's father. And we go straight into it. As you can see on the second page here, there's a Mysterio-looking dome sitting on the table, and 4 Mysterio-robed, I don't know, people, let's call them a coven, and there's Gwen Stacy sitting at the head of the table. Now, it turns out Gwen Stacy's father was one of these Mysterios. So there's 5 Mysterios to power the amulet, and one person holds the amulet. Of course, it's Blake here, so he has the amulet, obviously, and when he dies, or when he hands this amulet down, Gwen Stacy is the next in line. So she will be the new Mysterio, which I think is a really cool twist. I really like it. So we find out that Gwen's got secrets too. You know, while Peter's swinging through the city and Gobbo's flying around chucking pumpkin bombs, Gwen Stacy's got some grander scheme and plan going on in the background, because they have certain beliefs. They believe that the world that they live in, the 6160 Ultimate Universe, is a complete lie, and that the real world, right, which is like parallel, the 616, the regular Marvel Universe, that's the real world, and they want to expose to the world the truth. And that's why she was investing in the newspaper. That's why she was so interested in helping Ben and Jonah. So it's really cool. Again, we get more little moments showing how close Harry and Gwen were, even though they still have secrets. This is their wedding. We find out she doesn't buckle under pressure as well when Harry's father says, which I find really sad, but it's totally on character for Norman Osborn. He says to Gwen, this, you know, his new daughter-in-law, the wife of his son, that she could have done better. Usually it's the other way around. And she said, "That's the same thing I said to your wife." So she's got some balls, this girl. I like it. And I like how Hickman's just sort of reminded you of how much of a bastard Norman Osborn can be. So I thought that was really clever. And also, there's a little Easter egg here, talking about Mysterio, is that in the background you see in this bottom panel at the right, right in the background, there's a Mysterio, which shows that she's being watched or they're omnipresent. So a nice little Easter egg there. 'Cause didn't have to put that in. By putting it in, just made it all the better. I love it. I love it again. We get another moment here of them growing together. It's Christmas and exchanging presents. She's into conspiracy theories. He's found this really rare book. And then we go straight back to a year ago where the Council of Mysterios, the Coven of Mysterios, whoever they are, they're discussing what they need to do to dispel the lies and get the truth out to the world. And they're talking about just releasing the information to the public. And Gwen says that's not the way to do it. We need a better delivery system. So she said she'll think of something. So we get another moment here with Peter and MJ and Harry and Gwen. They're having dinner together, and you can see that the Mysterios are present, and she can communicate with them. They can communicate with her. So it's like having a magic ghost behind you. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really, really cool. I love the way they've done it. It almost feels like she can't get away from them, but she can. I'm sure they're not there all the time, but it just feels like there's a weight on her shoulders. There's someone always watching. I think it's brilliant. Anyway, we get back to a few months ago where you see them married and they're working on their things. And there's a little thing here where it says he was chatting to Ben and Jonah about the Makers Files. And the Makers Files are the data that they got when they bought Stain Stark's company. And this is all like information, investigation about the Maker that Tony Stark had compiled. And when he took the information to them a few issues ago to give it to them, so them to publish it and start delivering that information to the world, which is on par with this conspiracy theory they want to debunk about 2 universes and only one world. He makes this joke that they thought that Gwen might have been in the suit. And then we get a close-up of the mask and reflections indicating that maybe she might be getting in that suit as well, but she's Mysterio. So there's like, what's going on? I really, it's just, there's loads of questions are sort of answered, but then new ones arise, just theorizing. So again, we get more moments about the Mysterios and the amulet will pass. And what happens is the Mysterios say, we know where Harry is. He's been kidnapped, right? And he's going to die if we don't do something about it. So they decide to do something about it, which I'm about to expose right now. I think it's really, really cool. They also let Gwen know that she is being watched. Now, we learned in the previous issue that when Gwen or Harry, when one of them goes missing, as they are the heads of the company, a protocol comes into place, which is the other one, it gets extra security and they get watched to keep them safe, hopefully. She didn't know about this and she doesn't like it at all, obviously because she's trying to cover up what's going on with her little secret coven. But Otto says, hey, you've got some explaining to do. What have you been doing? Why have you been going and doing all this strange stuff that I didn't think you'd be doing? So she just fires him straight away to try and keep the secret as such, which may spark Otto becoming more of a villain. I don't know, but it's all unraveling and I absolutely love it. Now, this is where we get the truth of what happened in the Mole Man's domain when Kraven was hunting them, because like I say, Harry Osborn was shot, but guess what? He wasn't. Now, I was wondering how they were going to do this, and I think this is really clever. I should have seen it coming, but I didn't, which makes it all better. So what happened is what Peter saw was Harry being shot. But that's not what happened. That was just like a vision that Mysterio created to appear like Harry was being shot, so that Harry, A, could be saved, and B, can go off and do this master plan and all this other stuff that, Gwen Stacy and they're all thinking about to combat the Maker. So Pete thinks Harry's dead, which I guess energizes him, and makes his mission even more... it makes it more dangerous, but it also makes it more prominent to him, So he's now living with the memory of his friend being dead and him not being able to do anything about it. So it's just so well done. Honestly, I love it. And here's another shocker: is Mysterio actually just shoots him, just kills Craven in cold blood, bam, straight through the head. And then we reveal that, in actual fact, Gwen Stacy she's been promoted in the Coven, and she is Mysterio. It's brilliant. We end the issue with Harry turning up. He's alive at his own gravestone, and they decide that they got to stop keeping secrets and they can work together to fulfill all the missions, and the mission is to beat the Maker. Fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Another brilliant issue. Would I like some Spidey in it? Of course I would. But am I sad that I didn't get any Spidey? No, not at all. I love this new Mysterio idea. I like the fact there's 5 of them. Like there's like it's like kind of a hive mind, like a sort of Illuminati. You know what I mean? Someone pulling the strings at the back, which are villains but not villains, and who knows what they're going to go up to later. It's really, really nice, and I think that the moments between a father and Harry really brought me even closer to these characters. So I think it's another cracker. I do think Jonathan Hickman needs to really start pumping out some serious in-suit Spider-Man action over these next 5 issues, right? Because he will eventually lose the interest of the readers, I think, if we don't get some. But the quality of the book is, as usual, perfect. It's one of my books of this month already. And, you know, I think you should love it too. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you soon.